Needed that.
we're going into an economic hurricane. Things are bad. Things are good. Things are resilient. We'll be fine. But wait a second. Right now, he's talking about economic challenges and that people need to look no further than where they're at right now, and that things are okay right now, and don't think that this is going to continue, that these good times are going to continue. Who out there sits there and goes, wow, this is great, unless you repossess cars, you are a foreclosure expert, you're a divorce expert. I mean, come on. It's like everything negative is doing well. The real business,
Good times
never
felt
People are paying a fortune to get money right now, and it is taking a huge toll on families, the economy, inflation, everything. And he's trying to sit there and tell us that this is just, hey, there's these are the good times, and it's not going to last long. So these good times that are happening right now are going to end, and you shouldn't anticipate that they're going to be going on for the next 12 to 18 months. So this is the turning point. This is it. This is it. This is the turning point for the economy right now. And Jamie Dimon can tell you what he wants. He wants you to borrow money. He wants you to hit up your credit cards. He wants you to go and buy a house. He wants you to put money into investment banks. He wants you to spend. Oh, and borrow, and pay our fees. Okay?
All right.
This guy
doesn't look like anyone's here, but I want to play this.
Materials or MMTLP investors across the country share these same concerns.
From Busy Brands.
They have a lot of questions about what happened, the inability to sell the stock, and potential IRS implications. And to get answers about what happened, they've sent letters and made Freedom of Information requests of the SEC and I believe FINRA as well. And as of this point, I don't think we have the full response. And you know that my office has engaged to get answers as well. Can you confirm that the SEC is reviewing the trading halt?
This is from Busy Brands.
And will you commit to publicly releasing the SEC's findings on this investigation?
Let me just
what a weasel this guy is.
FINRA is separate from
Daniel
the SEC,
Borders, that's
and they have
great,
a set
Lucid.
of rules. They're
Pitching other
organized,
stocks,
and
maybe? I don't know.
Those rules are approved by the SEC after public comment, but they then move forward and implement their rules. The matter
What's
that you
Daniel
raised,
Borders saying?
Around metamaterials, if I recall the name of it.
Is he saying the stock is... Let's see where... let's see what's going on the space call.
And he is starting to feel it. He's starting to realize that the wages are not keeping up with
I don't see the space call.
Trying to do this
Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
But it's not. It's the headwinds with the central banks, with interest rates.
I don't see the space call. I guess I wasn't invited to it, so I don't know how to find it.
The severity of this is too much right now.
Avid told me about it, but I don't see it.
People just want to think that there's going to be some quick
Oh, here.
that's going to get flipped, and
You go up here,
normal. Whatever that is. What is normal?
Maybe you go to the
What
top.
is normal? I am telling you guys, you're going to look back.
There, I'll hit
early
that.
September of 2023 and go, wow, those were some good times. We had money, we could buy things, we could sell stuff. People could,
I can't find
openly invest, do things now that you
the liquid lunch. I can't find liquid lunch.
a year to 18 months from now. That's what's going to happen.
What am I doing
And
wrong?
That's what Mr. Diamond's talking about right now, is that people shouldn't expect this to go on for 12 to 18 months. So let me know. Now, a couple of things that you cannot ignore is the crime. Crime right now is a huge problem with retail crime. But think about this.
I can't find it. I know you'd like to hear it, but I can't find liquid lunch.
Number 2 to Home Depot steps forward and says that their big problem is shrinkage from theft. Shrinkage and the
I might be blocked or something, but I don't see it.
They anticipate that they're going to lose.
So
Here's this figure: $1 billion this year.
I don't know what.
$1 billion.
Yeah, Avid.
Insane. That is unbelievable right now, guys. $1 billion is going to walk out the door at Lowe's, and it's only getting worse. You're seeing more.
All right, let me do Avid.
And more retail crime, which brings up the next story, which this is unbelievable that this was sent to me, and I was like, are you kidding? From the New York Post, but it didn't
Oh,
make
here.
the business section. It was just in lifestyle and crime. They should just have a crime section on the New York Post now.
Yeah, an exponential change, and it seems like that's the case. I have to do a little bit more reading on that company. I'm not well.
So he's going to pitch other
that
companies,
sector, to be
which is
honest.
great. But you got to focus on
Do we,
finger
do
right
we want
now.
to take any questions in the last 8 or 9 minutes here?
Yeah, we'll definitely take some questions 100%. If you guys don't want to speak, you could drop a comment. I'll go through my DMs real quick. I got a few. Everyone basically just said, like, what's the deal with the S3? Those are old. Let's see. No, I don't see anything related to these stocks. If anyone wants to request a mic, you could do that as well. Just trying to see if there's anything
Yeah,
in the comments below.
Gensler's a complete tool.
Someone loves the guy Joe. He said he loves you. I love Borders. Don't mess with that dude. You got some fans. I love it.
I'm really
I
just
think
the face
Logic's
of a much,
still a
much
good
bigger
play.
group. But I guess not even the face. I guess right now I'm just the voice.
We've only got about,
Trust me, there's a lot bigger guys behind me than what my company and my network is. And they are pissed.
But here it is. There are a gang.
let's just turn
that
this
goes around
off.
robbing people.
He's a
Taverns, bars,
He's a big guy,
restaurants.
Borders, and he's got a lot of people behind him. And I guess you can listen to the replay, but it's in Q&A. It wasn't very interesting. Logic is, I still think, a great opportunity. If I make some money here in Finger, I'm going to buy more Logic. A friend of mine will be speaking with Brent tomorrow morning. I'll try to find out about that financing. I think the financing on the DLQ side, A-OK. Maybe it's a little expensive. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But it's finite. It has a specific number of shares. I believe they'll end up Pac-Manning the extra shares. So I think you have to look at it that they'll issue the full amount stated. But it's a specific number of shares. So I think the DLQ financing, I don't see any risk there. The Logic side, I'm a little perplexed because I do not believe that Brent would sign a toxic convertible note, but there's a VWAP in there. So I got to find an answer for that. But yes, I still think Logic, I would buy, as soon as I make some money in Finger, I'm going to buy Logic. Just the Aubrey SPAC side alone is extraordinarily valuable. My guess is on the Logic side, they're going to do a reverse merger that will more than take care of the risks from a VWAP. But I don't know. I don't trust. That's the problem on the over-the-counter. I listened to Gary Gensler earlier, and I was just trying to play it. He's talking about the deepest, fairest, that the obligation is capital formation, investor protection, and a fair marketplace. It's all crap. It's all crap. If you're an over-the-counter company, you don't have access to capital. There is no capital formation. There's just market cap destruction and theft on behalf of the prime brokers, led by Goldman Sachs and protected by Gary Gensler. He started his whole presentation by saying, I just state these are my views. They're not the views of the commission or the SEC. Wait a minute. You're the chairman of the SEC. Anyway. All right, let's talk about Finger. They're attacking Finger? Well, that's good. I don't see them attacking it, actually. 720.23 is a very good price on Finger. 721, 720, 723. Up 5%. 1.87 million shares. The high on the day was 759.6. So you're right in that. You're right in that sense. They brought it down from that price. But this all looks pretty powerful to me, to the upside. Sheikh Fahad. Is it possible that some talking about low safe numbers in Finger, some of that is perpetuated by lower loss hedge funds? Yes, Tom. I did a video this morning, and we've only got 2 minutes before him. But Tom, I want to emphasize this alignment with Univest is massive. It's enormous. 1, 2. The fundamentals of Finger aligned with a great bank like Univest is going to allow Finger to become a major player in this mobile phone data, insurance, big data space, AI space. So, Tom, and anyone listening, I don't think you need to sell Finger at 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30 on the way up. Because I think that's where the stock will settle after this is all done, after they put 25 million at the bank. Maybe they sell 1 million shares at $25. Imagine how beautiful that would be. They have the cash. They're increasing their revenue by buying the discounted minutes, and they're expanding their big data. They're expanding their insurance business, and then you've got AppleCare. It's huge. There's no reason to sell Finger. I can't give specific advice, of course, but that, in my opinion, there's no reason to sell Finger in the low numbers, because you'll have a chance to sell it at those prices later. And I'll go even further. I think Finger in 6 months to a year is a $35, $50 stock, and eventually a $100 stock, all by its lonesome without even any short squeezes. So I wouldn't buy into the pressures to sell in the low numbers. All right, let's get the hamster on the call. Maybe he's changed the time. I just saw that he called me twice. Are we still on?
Yeah, I was just listening to the end of this.
We can hang up if you need to listen to Borders.
No, let's go.
I mean, I don't really.
Ascertain whether. And hello, everyone. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I was just listening to this guy Mike Capo, whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, I just played that from Busy Brands. Crapo, Senator Crapo.
I can't believe that the SEC is just lied, where we know they communicated with FINRA. It's just amazing that they keep tap dancing around it. Anyway, let me move on to our subjects. That is amazing, and I'll
that clip I just started at Busy Brands on his whatever you call it, Twitter. You can find that clip of Gary Gensler answering.
I just retweeted it. It's just amazing that they won't answer the question. These poor people have been locked up for 300 days already. They know the communication between the SEC and FINRA happened, and he's basically tap dancing around it, which is amazing. But anyway,
all right, go ahead.
This stuff is coming to a head, and again, this is not the buy sell. It's about security fraud. If the SEC is listening, fuck you. That's what we say to them. They keep lying, tap dancing. We caught the criminals. They're trapped, and they still don't help us. All right? Number one, let's start out the day here. Okay,
let's start out. Sorry to interrupt you. Let's start out with the price, 724.5, and the volume is 1.89. All right, keep talking.
Every day, every long goes out and tries to sell it and sell it lower every day. That's what they do. Every long, keep coming back, selling the same stock over again. You know? Once you sell your stock, you can't sell it anymore. Good luck, and go try to resell any shares in your account that you don't own. You'll never get it done. Anyway, I put up the attack this morning from Bar Chart, and it looks like they sold about 400,000 shares in this instant, trying to knock it down. It was the bear raid. In the bear raid, okay, I found out through a friend that there's a day trader that sold 25,000 short. I guess he was part of the bear raid. And it didn't work, and he turned around and he was buying it. He's the one that took it up from 730 to 760, trying to cover the 25,000. I told you, the small players that come around at the day traders like Timothy Sykes and these guys, when the bear raid doesn't work, they're the first to cover. That's what they do. They all come in at the same time. They attack. He shorted 25,000 shares. He took his 50 cent loss. He lost 12,000, and he moved out of the way. I just want to give everyone a heads up. I am hearing that our new friends, the whales, are out here buying size. Okay, market maker told me that. You can see the orders coming in, and they're big orders coming around, and they're just relentless. All right, so their bear raid didn't work. The buyers, just like they said, are sucking in the shorts. And it's just a matter of when they're going to carry it out. The best part of the day is that these idiots can't let it go higher and continue to sell and let it walk up nice and slow every day. Hey, I'll take 30 cents every day forever. It's okay. They want to keep doing it the slow way. That's what's going to happen. We'll keep reporting on it. These guys keep creating the best trading patterns ever. They need volatility. Once the volatility's gone, the stock walks up nice and slow. Okay, they tried it, and it didn't work this morning. They tried their attack, and now what? So I always told you, they do it first thing out of the gate. They try to attack it. It's the same pattern every day. All right? You're not going to see this type of pattern in names, small cap names anyway. You may see it in a video or whatever on IBM or an Apple, but you're never going to see it in a stock like this. And the funny part is, in those big names, the stocks start to gap, go up 1.5, $2, whatever. They can't let it happen. Every day we're up 40 cents, 30 cents, 25 cents. As soon as they take their foot off the landmine, it's going to blow. That's just the way it is. That's how it's working. And they keep, and their foot is getting tired. They keep trying to hold it down. We've been posting, it was 170 million. We stopped increasing the number. It doesn't even make sense anymore to add any more. But you can see they are the only sellers, and they keep trying. This stock is getting ready to explode. Okay? And I hope Dirty Mayo makes a fortune on his 10s. Okay? He said I miscalculated. He didn't have 1,000. I think he's got 8 to 900. I'm sorry, I was off by a number. You know, I hear a lot of people's positions every day, and I'm sorry. But, hey, listen, I give you credit for having the balls to play, and you're obviously playing for free, which is great. All right? What else did I say? I talked about the short covering, the same pattern each day. Hey, give Avid Trader a shout out. Go look at his videos. The guy's been doing great work. He's popping them out like he's like having like a kitten. He's having kittens all day. He keeps banging out these stories, which are great. And understand the pattern. It's all right here. Just think about it. If this was Apple and we all getting the tip on the new iPhones, how would we all be idiots if we passed on it? Most of us did. You're getting the scoop straight. Everyone understands it. You know how big the short is. A naked short is a buyer. He's the biggest buyer in the world. Okay? No matter what. And this type of walking up just brings in people from all over the world. I told you what I would do. I would gap the stock to 10 and then bring it down. But they cannot let it go up because they cannot afford the margin. So instead, everyone's getting a chance to get in. I just had 3 friends that I pitched. They're all buying it. It's an easy chart pattern to buy. Add the short into it. Everyone can see it. All right, strangers are talking about it. All right, it's getting all over the street. All right, so it's just a matter when. It's like we said, the water's boiling. They want to keep doing this, keep doing it. Any questions, Bill? I'm looking at my notes.
One is, do you think the shorts are going to have a wedgie?
I hope they jump out of their windows and kill themselves. Listen. These guys are criminals. Stop treating them as friends or as an acquaintance. This is not someone you bet a football game with. This is someone who's trying to steal your money. I have anger towards it because they're criminals. All right, they're complete criminals.
If Jeffries were to terminate its relationship with Lind or whoever Lind's clients are, would Jeffries have to make an announcement or file about that?
I don't know about that, but Jeffries may tell him, get this position out of here, in which case no one on the street's going to take it, so they would have to close it out. That's a good question.
What do you see? When's the transition from margin call to buy-in? When does that happen?
You met my friend. He said that as soon as when they call you up and they say you got to put up money and you don't put it up when they tell you to have it there, it's over with. In a second, it happens.
Here's a guy asking, I don't know if I think he's all right. If Jeffries never calls their margin and the SEC never enforces settlement, then what happens? I don't think that's a realistic scenario, but it's a question.
Say it again.
If Jeffries doesn't buy in and the SEC doesn't enforce settlement, what happens then?
Then we should all go to the Cayman Islands and open up accounts and just start doing it ourselves.
Well, but also, who's going to pay for the cost? None of it's free. If Finger goes to $15, somebody's ass is hanging out there for $2 or $3 billion.
So it's either they cover the cost or we go do it for ourselves and it's free money. If you can take a free shot, the American system is allowing us to do it, right?
Dan Borders apparently has information you and I don't have, or he's putting it out. Maybe we had it and we weren't allowed to talk about it. But apparently Dan Borders just said on Avid that he has inside info, which one would, if it's inside, he shouldn't be talking about it, and was told Univest was talking about buying 6 million shares at $50. This is what he says, not the guy that's putting it here. I don't know. I think
he's wrong. I think it's 7 million shares and it's at 51.
Whatever it is, they're going to raise money at a much higher price. And
there is 100%. Again, for those who didn't join the call yesterday or last night before the Jet game, GameStop, AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond, all of them, go do your homework. None of them had a mechanism in place to raise money as the stock was going up. They had a file in the middle of it, and that's when the stocks lose steam because they're raising capital at that point. The stocks were dropping. I'll say GameStop used to drop $20, $30 at a clip when they were trying to raise money. Now you can do it, have it. You're in place. Everything's in place before the show happens. It's very different.
I would also add that Univest isn't just a flow through to covering for the shorts. Univest is real, it's big, and it's serious about making money for its investors who are longs. They are longs. The investors for Lind Partners are a bunch of criminal shorts. Anyway.
I told you before, they can't fight the world. Okay? My friend in the UK, he moved there from Hong Kong, and he's pitching people all over Asia to buy the stock. So, again, they know who Univest is, and they know what it's about.
I have to correct myself because the gentleman that put up the quote corrected it. He didn't use the word insider information. So correction accepted. We've got to be careful on the long side. We have to follow the rules. The shorts don't. Would it be, Ham, would it be a moral win for the shorts if they're able to contain the price today in this range on Finger?
The shorts are dead men walking. It doesn't make it. Where are they pushing? I told you the game's over. They're pushing it down. The buyers are sitting there. That's it. I had my friends from Atlanta. One gentleman bought 100. My other two friends bought 150, 75 apiece. That's just three people that I know who paid $670 or $680. They bought 250,000. Okay, people are buying the stock like crazy. You don't think so, but they are. And whoever is selling it, okay, I don't know what long selling it. I don't know any long selling it, but eventually, if it is a long, they sell it and move along, right?
On GTII, when are we given our distribution of shares? Korean Yoon, that already happened. Secondly, will it be dilutive and will it affect the price? How long does it take to get over it? The market already reflects the fact that those shares were distributed 5 months ago. So that's a trap to try to catch out the shorts and do the SEC's job. It should be very beneficial once Fidelity is scrambling to find real shares.
Thank you. I don't have to answer that anymore.
I don't know how to respond to this, but Jeffries had a bearish engulfing daily candle, and today it's up 2%. This guy thinks the stock's going down.
There's something going on, Jeffries, because it's been acting strong for a while. I don't really understand. I don't follow it. The brokerage industry is washed up as it is. It's just managed money. So I can't imagine that they've become the new Goldman Sachs. So for why it's holding on, hey, it's great. I looked at the December 30 puts in the 27s. They're a quarter of a dollar. When Finger starts running, those are the ones I'm going to look at, the 30s, maybe move back another month to January. Credit Suisse, when they lost billions of dollars, I even said it many times before. I said, these banks can't take these hits. They're enormous. What happened? A couple months later, gone. See you later.
Apparently Borders, which I like hearing this guy's saying, Borders said, hey, I'm just a small cog in the wheel. I have big investors behind me who are pissed off about the shorts and they want to get them. That's great. And that's good. Kudos to Mr. Borders. That's great.
Yes, that's everyone I talk to. And I spoke to a public company today who needed help. I'm not going to give you their name, but everyone's had enough. All right? I put up every public company CEO should get a flamethrower. Learn how to use it.
Yep.
Figure it out.
So what do you think today? Apparently 10,000 calls and Finger were purchased. Apparently, what do you think about that?
I think that Friday's option expiration and that you're crazy for buying those calls. No, I'm only kidding.
Well, we're all a bit crazy here.
Well, if you looked at it, everyone who bought the fives rolled out of the fives into the sixes. The sixes are now into the sevens. The sevens will soon roll into the eights. The problem people don't understand is that as you go into the money, your premium that you're paying disappears and it goes to parity.
Right.
That's part of the option game. All right? But let it keep going into the money. That's all you care about. Keep going. You're going to lose your premium, but you're going to gain price. The fives are now worth $2.45, $2.40. People were buying them at 45 cents. That's how Dirty Mayo turned his option trading account into, now he owns 900. I'll just make up the number
That's
right now.
That's Sir Dirty Mayo to you.
Sir Dirty Mayo will be bowing to him when he sells
He's
out.
going to be rich. Yeah, when he sells out.
When he makes $10 million, he'll be laughing at all of us. And meanwhile, we bought, 100,000 shares for free. Think about that. He has access to 100,000 shares of stock till Friday at 4 o'clock. So if this thing goes to 20, he makes $1 million.
He's like that ball player in that baseball movie who walks around the field carrying his cojones with him.
Again, listen, that he learned how to do it, and you know what? People have to understand.
Ham,
you can
new
trade
highs on
options
the
like
day,
this.
Ham. Sorry to bother you. New highs, 750.
Okay, it's again slow, steady march. I tell my friend tells his cousin tells his friend, and they all sit there saying, "Would you pay for it? 740. Would you pay for it? 742. Would you pay for it? 744." And it just keeps building because it's walking up a step nice and slow. Accumulation. I told you, buy half, bid for half. If you did that this morning, you bought stock at 7.25, and you bought stock at 670, right? Gives you a 690 average, and now your stock is 740. That's how you do it.
Oh, wow. It went to 759.6 today. Anyway,
Yeah, right.
it's moving, so somebody corrected me. What do you think the price of Finger is by Friday or before Friday?
My personal opinion,
Yeah.
I think you're gonna get
You have another?
your run shortly. I put it up. To me, this is like me getting thrown out of a bar at 4 o'clock in the morning. We're giving you the last call. The bartender's screaming out, "Last call." That's what I think. That's what I see.
So what do you think the mechanics are going on? Are the people who are shorting selling non-existent shares, do they just have their computers set to sell and they're going to burn a prime broker so they figure it's not our money, we're walking away anyway? Is that what's going on right now?
That's what I would do.
So when do they stop it?
They'll get the prime broker. They were born, but they weren't born yesterday. They know the tricks they know the people that are on the ropes. And I'm sure the phone calls and things are happening behind the scenes.
So today the volume is 2 million shares. How much of that do you think is real sellers?
I'll say it's probably 300,000 from people flipping it, buying it. You know, there's day traders in here, whatever. But the most part, it's all short.
Isn't that incredible? It doesn't.
It's up 52 cents. All that call buying. All that call buying, guys that are selling those calls to open, they buy the stock to hedge. Add that to it too.
It's incredible. The SEC, Gensler is there dissembling before Congress. I watched part of it before I vomited, but he has no interest in this fraud. None.
The guy was questioning him, and all he does is tap dance around it.
Yeah.
FINRA has their own rules. We have our rules. We don't speak to each other. It's in the email, the proof that they communicated with each other. What is it? Anyone can figure this out.
Yeah.
Okay, but the answer should be from that senator. It should be, hey, end the conversation, cut the bullshit. What are you doing with these poor people that are trapped?
Yeah.
Don't waste another day.
Yeah. Hey, he wouldn't even
I want
answer
an
the
answer.
question about the aggregate total in the blue sheets. He wouldn't answer that question.
Well, we're going to see Mr. Crapo when we go back. So that's
We are.
first.
We're going to ask
That's
him
my
how to
first
pronounce that name.
I like Crapo.
When I was in, I don't want to go on, but when I was in London, I went to the Queen's polo match. Anyway, in the room when you go to the loo, they're sitting there as a crapper. That's where the name comes from. I guess whoever invented the indoor toilet was a guy named Crapper. But anyway,
So things that I'm waiting for the trailer from the documentary. We're waiting to get the truck. I'm actually having a new updated slide presentation. I think we have the one for Finger and GTI raising the numbers to 450 million in GTII and Finger to 170. We'll have that slide presentation should be done today. Hopefully we can get that out so you can start seeing that. We're going to add Lynn Partner's buddies in Australia to the truck. They want to be movie stars. We're going to let them be stars. That's where they want to be. I told you. You want to be Bonnie and Clyde? We're going to make you famous. That's it.
Is there anything important about 2 o'clock in terms of margin calls?
Yeah, well, there's margin calls anytime they can happen. Okay, normally they usually do it around a certain time, but this is something just like GTII. The red light is going on. Someone's monitoring this thing, and I'm sure there's communication. And they're basically, at some point, they're going to say, enough. You got to stop. I put up the E-Trade story about the retail guy who didn't have the money. E-Trade bought him in immediately, and he lost 125,000 shares. He was short the stock at $2, and it went to 20 or something. They bought him in.
Do you want to talk
that's how
about?
fast it happens.
Do you want to talk about the day trader shorts, the Timothy Yikes of the world?
Yeah, they did that already. They came in this morning. They all band together. They premeditated attack for the opening, and I'm sure that they all knew it was coming. And they attempted it, and boom, turned. Now what? Now they're trying to cover. And trust me, these day trading guys are not taking home being short 10,000 or 25,000 shares. They're covering. And the only seller is Lynn Partners and their friends from Australia. That's it. Take them out of the equation, the stock would be 10 already. So this is the type of action that brings in more buyers. The more they sell, the higher it goes. It's the same pattern every day.
This gentleman's asking, did the Australian billionaire fund this? I would just point out that whoever's short is already down $1 billion, approximately, on paper. On paper.
Yeah, remember, they give these guys leverage. So they put up $300 million. They'll give them, who knows how much leverage to give off of it. But again, they have to put up the margin money. Nothing is free. Everyone needs protection. And Jeffries right now, they are the prime, which I put up the link in the filing, shows you that they are. Then they have a big problem behind them. Because once Lynn stops, and they tell them to stop, they have no idea where they're hiding all these trades, right?
Right.
It comes out later on. Like the guy from New Jersey, the guy who, Bill Hague, is that his name, Hague?
Wong.
He defrauded Credit Suisse. He defrauded Nomura. He just, there's a whole bunch of people that wound up getting caught in that sting, right? And they lost, they lose $10-12 billion altogether, everybody?
Yeah.
We throw around billions like it's nothing. Losing $1 billion is devastating. Devastating. Imagine losing $5 billion, $10 billion. This is devastation, what you're saying. And that's why we say from the beginning, there's always money in the banana tree, in the banana stand, from, what's it called, the Arrested Development. There's always money in the banana stand. So, no, I'm just saying that this is something that these guys have overstayed their welcome. They kept pressing their bets, and they're so arrogant, they think they can win all the time. They didn't think that, William and Abbott and Dirty Mayo and all these guys could band together and outsmart them. That's the problem.
One guy's saying he's going to have lunch with Gary Gensler and let him know that Ham should take his place and bring fairness back to the markets.
Oh no! I listen. I would have to sit there with a bag on my head. Gary Gensler is like a beauty compared to me.
Oh, I don't know.
No, it looks like Mr. Burns. He should be kicked. He should be thrown out the door. That guy's a bum. How do you sit there every day? How do you sit there in front of Congress today just making stuff up and not answering a question? It's remarkable.
He is. You're exactly right. He's a dissembler. It's terrible. He actually said, "We'll do what the courts want us to do." Wait a minute, you're the chairman of the SEC. You're the head of the regulatory body. Why do you have to wait for the courts? Because he's there to protect the criminals.
All they have to say, if you're short, your nigger's short, it's a criminal offense. Goodbye.
So your friend Steven Rosenberg is pointing out he thinks that everybody owns counterfeit shares in Finger, and that the volume today probably is only 5% real sales. I don't know. Could be.
You listening to that guy? I told you, if I was his platoon leader, I would have let him off a cliff and just let him fall. I got rid of him.
Who's that?
Steve Rosenberg is a military West Point grad, brilliant guy, but a pain in my ass.
You can only say that because you're 1,000 miles away from him.
KYP, this is when I want to get mad in a pickleball game, I got to listen to that knucklehead for 10 minutes and then send me out against two. He'll get me riled up more than the shorts. Anyway, no, he's a great man, smart guy. I met him. I know him for 30 years. I've been speaking to him. He's a Merrill Lynch. He worked at all the big firms. He's a brilliant guy, understands the game. He just comes across like a crazy military nut, but that's who he is. So.
There's a lot of people noticing the price is up, and it's time to go up on Finger. I mean, 2 million shares at 130, up 9%. I think, where's the stock going, as you always say?
No, my favorite thing is I just hit up GTI. It's 89 cents to 89.97. So if you want to know if the shorts are still around, there you go, 8997. They're a seller. I don't even know how you get change from that number, but that's the short.
Oh, we have the deepest, most honest markets in the world.
Right. Go pull the curtain back and see all the market makers. Go look at the guys at Puma, ASCM. Go look at Vertical Group. Where is Rob Schaefer? What's his name? Rob Schaefer? Fancy Pants. All right?
University of Arizona.
That guy thinks he's getting away. He sold 40 million shares short for the Kramers in the beginning, for people that don't go back in time. We didn't forget.
So Richard Hoffman.
He loves to go to Super Bowl in Thailand and loves to dabble in the dark arts, as we call it. Go look at his photo gallery. You'll see what I mean. Go ahead.
Yeah. Richard Hoffman wants to know that in Santa Monica,
September 26th at 7:30. Am I correct?
Yeah, but he wants you to know in Santa Monica they're opening up a pickleball court club with food and booze.
I'm not a drinker. I'm sorry, Richard. I will play all day. That's my downfall. I've been playing twice a day now, and I'm trying. I think I'm going to get banned. I hit so many people. It's like getting out of control, but I can't help myself. So again, just to recap. Again, accumulation always leads to higher prices. The slow march up is #1 trading pattern in the world. If this was Tesla, and it's been doing this for 13 days straight, this stock would take off like a bottle rocket at any time, because it's that the pattern's so perfect for accumulation. There's no volatility. This is the perfect trading pattern for anyone who ever wants to buy a stock. If you ever see a stock do this, which I doubt you will, the reason so is because we have a crazy short that's in trouble, and he's creating this pattern himself. I told you, if he wants to break the pattern, gap the stock to $12 and then walk it down, but they can't. So instead, he does this nonsense all day, 200 shares, 100 shares. He's just baiting to see. He's just putting out feelers to see what kind of buyers are out there. That's all they keep doing. They're trying to test the market. So if you want to buy the stock, you buy half, bid for half. Buy half, bid for half.
People are excited.
Listen, all I want you to do, you don't have to buy the stock. is you need to tell everybody this is a perfect, this trading in this stock is a course that we should be teaching at Harvard Business School, because those bozos don't know their ass from their elbow. All right, all these MBA guys who got all these degrees, we spit you guys out for lunch. They're so stupid. This is real world experience on a trading desk with numbers and understanding trading patterns. This isn't a computer model. We understand it. Everyone that's around me, I have 100 strong people that have got 30 years experience on trading desks, all can see this, except for the guys from EF Hunt. They're sound asleep. But again, everyone else can see it. That's just a dig at my friend, by the way. Anyway, this is an important trading lesson. When you see this pattern and you see it in a stock, buy the shit out of it when you see it in any other name that you're playing. This is a tremendous lesson and accumulation and the slow walk up. And this is something that any other stock would pop 5-10 points already. And as you can see, this thing is getting close to doing the same thing. I know everybody wants it done in a second. I want it done by 4 o'clock so I can go play ball. I got it. I know, we all want to do it. If anybody's from Clemson, South Carolina, I'll be at the Clemson game against Florida State next week. I'll sit down and talk with you down there. So if you're down there, I'll be there. Maybe Dozer wants to show up with his license plate. I love FSU. Any other questions?
Not really. People are asking about the price and when it's going to go. But I think this is great that the short's letting many of you increase your positions. And
if you're getting a chance to buy 100 shares, you buy 100 shares. You can increase it as you go up. You can see there's big buyers. Everyone wanted the whale. Well, the whales are here. This is how whales buy the stocks. That's just how it goes.
There you go.
They just don't go in and say, okay, we're going to get involved in the stock. Oh, it's 7. Let's just go pay 10. They just walk it up. That's how it's done.
Does if it's Jeffries, do the prime brokers check out filings with the SEC or they don't care about any of that? Right?
Listen, that is the Wild West. It's unregulated stock loan. No one's paying attention to anything that's going on there. It's basically Jeffries is a bank. They're lending. If they're giving these guys a credit or extension, they're basically, it's like a credit card. They're trusting them that these guys will do the right thing. And if they do blow up, Jeffries takes the hit for it. That's it.
Yeah.
No one wants it. Jeffries doesn't want this hit, but they've probably been paying him so many dollars in fees for so long, and they know what they're doing. But now they know, now that they're caught, now they have a big problem.
There's a lot of thank yous and appreciations. And I'll remind everyone to mark your calendar. September 17, the one and only Voice will be joining Richard Hoffman at 7:30 p.m. on Not Legal Advice. September 17th.
I thought it was the 23rd. See, I had it wrong already.
Steven Rosenberg says he's going to be at the border. You're not coming into South Carolina next week unless Finger is over $100 a share.
Oh, God, I forgot he was on the call. I forgot he was there. I'm going to have to climb a mountain range to get away from him. Anyway, listen, the pattern is perfect. I've been saying, if anyone could, William, you could vouch for me. I've been telling you about this pattern for a long time, right? And you've seen it for 14 days in a row, the same pattern. Knock it down, close higher. Knock it down, close higher. You get your best prices on the close, as usual, because all the day traders will actually panic and try to cover. If they sold 1,000 shares or 5,000 shares, they all think it's going to be NVIDIA. It's going to drop 100 points. All right? The reason we got all the pikers here because it's a $7 stock and they don't have the balls to play NVIDIA. All right? These guys, they try to come into these small caps because they want to manipulate. But once the leaders on the short side don't show up, all the little weasels They have not. They can't. They can't fight this battle.
You talk about it so much when I go to the dry cleaners, when I go get coffee, when I go to the restaurant, when I go in the metro, when I go shopping. All I see is this pattern. Everywhere I go is the same pattern.
It's the same. It's like a. It's like a
same
TV
pattern. No, not the pattern.
I'm gonna stop
again.
putting the pattern up where they used to put on at 4:00 in the morning when the TV channels used to sign off.
And the jets would fly off. You wake up. Did I fall asleep?
And they play the national anthem at 4:00 in the morning.
It's 7:55.
Like I said, to me, this is last call in a bar. You make your own decision what you want to do. I think it's getting close with the curtains going up. We're going to see who the wizard is, just like we did with Merlin Capital, right? Merlin Capital was a wizard, and he popped out. No one knew who he was. And all of a sudden, he lost $9 billion. The German guy, he was the wizard behind Volkswagen. He jumped in front of a train. He lost his family fortune of $9 billion. The guy in Australia, I hope it's him. He's going to lose his $1 billion, whatever $2 billion that he has. Good luck.
Leverage is a BITCH when it goes against you.
When it goes against you, that is correct. It's a thing of beauty. Everyone loves to have a credit card with all the leverage on it. Oh, I can charge anything, but then you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And then the game gets ugly, right? Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I got to pay this much interest a month. I'll never get rid of it. Well, that's the same thing with leverage in the equity markets. You can get big fast, but as soon as it goes against you, you're dead.
Trade Zero just called you out on Twitter. I don't know what that means. I assume it's good.
Get out of here.
I'm sure it's good. I don't know. I don't know
Get
what
out of here,
Trade Zero is.
Get out of here. He's yapping that it's a pump and dump. He's a moron. I think he's one of those Harvard guys. Tell him to go back to school.
Oh, he's saying that fingers a pump and dump? Well,
Yeah.
his buddies just dump all day.
Right. Listen, they're idiots, and they have no rhyme or reason what they say. If he has a pair of balls, tell him to meet me at the SEC or the FBI, and then open his big mouth. Let's see what he has. All right? He's got nothing. He's shooting his mouth off. Don't listen to fools like him. We post the data every day. We go to the SEC. We went to the FBI. I put the guy on the phone who spoke with the FBI about GTII, and yet these fools keep posting. He's a manipulator. Get lost. I could care less about him. Tell him to go buy puts. Shut his big mouth and go put his money where his mouth is. Get lost. Get out of here.
Can you explain for a minute? I don't. You're going to have to interpret this question. Can you explain for a minute the best way to view options traffic?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess how would you I don't know. How would you trade options?
Are you looking for what people are buying? Is that it? Is you looking for the action, where the action is? Listen, forget the action. You look for price. The whole thing about options is price. All right, so they're shitting on the
maybe
right
option
now.
interest he's talking, the open interest. Maybe
It's on your computer. You'll see it there. The open interest I can see is 3,500 on the fives, 111 on the 5.5s, 4,000 on the sixes, 5,200 on the sevens, the eights to 2,700. That's what I see. It just keeps going up.
And traffic is price plus volume. Gosh, everything's gotten new terms.
Yeah, I don't know what the terms are, but again, I look at options. Every once in a while they the pricing. So right now you can buy the nines at 55 cents, and I'm looking at instead of paying 55, I'd rather buy the tens at 40 cents or 35 cents.
Yeah, exactly.
I would buy the 11s at 40 cents. That's the same price as the 10s. So you just pay attention to the markets and these stocks and the options, and you say, why are they so different sometimes? Because somebody maybe they're trying to sell it. That's all.
I would also look at the size on the ask, and if you're buying, make sure there's enough there for sale. Just go ahead and buy it at the ask. Don't futz around for 5 cents or 10 cents.
Listen.
Unless it really matters to you, but if it runs
again, I like to do it. I like to do it the opposite way. If I want to buy 200 of them, I buy 100 at the offer at 55, and then I'll bid 50 for
Right.
100. That, this way I get a 52.5 cent.
But at least your first offer you do at the offer.
Oh no, I do the same pattern all the time. Yeah, I was always taught you got to own. If you're going to buy something, you have to own it. Own a certain percentage of it, and then you can work into the rest.
Right.
This way, if it goes, I'm half in. That's how I look at it.
Right.
If it pulls back, I'm a buyer.
Right.
Listen, the stock is going to break 60 now, and this stock could be somewhere between 8 and 10 by the end of the day. All
And
right, just
talking about prices, I mean, I know no one knows, but how high could Finger go in a squeeze?
Well, just remember this: it's 2 million shares today. The only seller are the crooks. Take away the selling that they laid into it today. All right.
Yeah.
And they have to buy back 170 million shares. They haven't bought back a share yet.
What if the 170 million is wrong? What if it's only 30 million?
If it's 10 million, the stock is going to be $30 to $40.
Yeah.
Once they stop selling and have to be a buyer, 10 million will get you there. Get off the train wherever you like. You can say we're crazy. You can say this, do that. We say it's 170. I've never seen them cover it yet. So how could it go? How could the number go lower if they never buy it back? It got me. Tell me how it works.
Well, I happen to agree with you.
Again, if like MULN, it is impossible for me to tell you what the hell's going on there.
Right.
I couldn't tell you. They're selling it, they're shorting it, they're buying it back. I have no clue.
Right.
It's very difficult. Finger motion's been very easy. Just look at it. If they sell 100 a day, it's 500 a week, it's 2 million a month. 12 months is 24 million. We've been here 4 years. So you've seen the number grow. So 24 million, do it times 3, right? We took 72. That's at 100. That's 100 a day. We've been watching these guys do 1 million a day. Think about 1 million a week is 4 million a month, 48 million a year. The number goes quickly.
Will Univest and or its clients buy in the lit exchanges?
I don't think they really care about that. You're talking about the dark pools? Is that what they're talking about?
Do you know anything about NVOS? This is apparently what Borders and those guys want to go in after Finger. I don't know. You guys can do what you want. I think GTII has the same whales.
Listen, I'm not here to pitch you on anything. You do whatever you like.
Exactly.
You want to go chase that, go chase yourself. I'm only following the names that I follow. So Good luck. Do whatever you have to do. I'm sure it's a good play. I'm sure there's many good companies, but again, I can only do so much.
Somebody's asking, when will we know when the shorts are covering? You'll know. You'll never have seen anything like it.
Your nose will start bleeding because your stock is going up so fast. That's when
you won't understand. Who's buying? Who's buying? Why is it going up?
Just remember, when it goes like that, you make a sell. This way you get your money off the table. Don't stand like a deer in headlights and say, oh my God, look at it go, looking at a SpaceX rocket going to the moon. Make a sale as it starts to go. This way you can have money, take your money off the table. You work at it 10% all the time, 10, and this way you got your money off the table.
This is interesting. There are different numbers of share sizes, 111, 199. Are they communicating with each other? No.
Do you sell stock? Just think about it. Do you sell stock like that all day long?
No poop Sherlock. Borders is already in NVOS. Look, I don't really want to talk about, we can do it later, but I don't really want to talk about other stocks. Right now, I really advise you to focus on Finger. GTII next.
Buy another stock, sell your stock, and go buy it. Good luck.
I mean,
I don't know anything about it.
It's just,
go to Dan. He's a nice guy, I heard, and go to him and ask him his questions. I don't know.
You just got to focus, though, in life sometimes. You got to put your focus on, and then you can be distracted. I like this quote. If it's good
gonna
enough
make
to
my
screen, here's a great quote. If it's good enough to screenshot, it's good enough to sell. Warren Buffett. It's not a bad quote. So if you get all excited about your account and you take a screenshot, sell it. I wish I had followed that in my life.
Listen, Warren Buffett, I feel, as great as everyone thinks he is, I think he's been a disgrace. He's the leader that we needed to fight this cause, and he did nothing. He turned his back on it.
Well, and
What did
he
he
also,
say? He said, "Make it short my stock. I don't care." That's what he said.
yeah,
Well, go back in time. He had no float, and he had no options against his stock. That's how he survived and built his company. Right? Remember, it was $30,000 a share. Remember, it was 60,000, whatever it was.
Skinny Whale says, "Hey, Lynn Partners, if you are monitoring this live, turn on your buy long button and leave the building. And make sure you leave by the stairs or the elevator." I guess don't jump out the window.
Well, listen, again, you got to remember, this is going to turn into a criminal charge for them. They've exhausted everything they've done. They've sold too many shares, and they sold it all way lower. I mean, these guys are upside down.
Yeah.
Think about it. I'll just go recap GameStop versus Finger Motion right now. GameStop was shorted down. I think, I'm just going to take a guess right now because I can't remember the exact number. I'll say $50. They shorted it from 50 down to 3 3/4. All right, or 39. I think it was 39, maybe 40.
Right.
To 3 3/4. The short sellers were in the black. In the black. And they got roasted to death. Lynn Partners is completely in the red. And it hasn't gone yet. Think about that. Completely underwater, drowning, and haven't bought a share back.
Unbelievable.
GameStop, those guys had 30 points of leeway before they got roasted. And they lost billions. Not millions, billions. And no one wants to talk about it. The newspapers, they got it gone already, no big deal. This is why Finger Motion is super important. We get over the hill. We don't need the newspaper to talk about it. It'll be done by us. Take it easy. We don't care.
It'll be in black and white what happened.
And then we go to the next one, nice and easy. Let them, they don't have to talk about it. Let the SEC talk about price discovery and payment for order flow while we're destroying the short sellers. So they can do whatever they like.